Hello, hello, hello. Today we are talking about it, and it's going to be good because I am running behind. There are some technical difficulties, and I was like, nope, I am still going to put this information out because we're talking about wellness, but not any old kind of wellness. We are talking about winter wellness tips because 'tis the season to give, but we don't want to give colds. I want to make sure that you are healthy and well during this holiday season, but this is the time where we are peaking and we're having a lot of colds and flu and all that kind of stuff. And there are some things that you can do to prevent it. So, want you guys to just lean back, relax, take down some of these notes. There are a few things that I'm going to give you that, like give you on dosing or whatever. So you may want to like have something to jot that down, but we are going to get into it. If you are new here, welcome, welcome, welcome. I am Dr. Ashley Booth. I am a board certified family medicine physician, and I provide practical health tips and tools that you can use in your everyday life because what I understand is that your life affects your health. Now, those who have been here, you kind of know what to do. If you haven't, then I want to invite you to go ahead and subscribe and turn on the notifications so that way you don't miss anything. It is absolutely free. I will not spam you, and I promise you, you'll probably get a lot more from it than what you think you might lose. The other thing is go ahead and share it, let people know what we're talking about because you want to keep them healthy as well. You're doing the things, but then they're not. So that kind of goes against you. So you want to make sure that you go ahead and let them know that we're talking about it. So share it, let the people know. So, and also say hello and drop any of your comments or questions in the chat so that way I can answer them for you. I'll either answer them now live that we're talking about it, or I'll come back later at the end of the show once it has ended and I will be sure to answer them. So be sure, drop a note. Hey, how you doing? All that kind of stuff, where you're watching from, any of that. So that way I will know what is going on. Well, let's not delay it any further. Let's get into it. Let's get started. Like I said, this is the cold and flu season. We are starting to see an increased case of RSV, colds, flu, COVID. All of the things are starting to increase during this time, and I want to keep you well. So let's get into our winter wellness tips. So the one thing that is happening that I noticed, like you guys see that I have my what they call a shacket on today because we're trying to stay warm. The other thing that you're doing to stay warm is you are turning on the heat. So your body is trying to adjust to that. It's cold outside, you're turning on the heat. But what that is doing is drying everything out. It is drying out the air. And what is happening is that is leading to coughs. It can also lead to like a scratchy throat, dry mouth, all of that. So, one of the tips that I want to tell you to do is make sure that you hydrate and humidify. You want to humidify the air. If you have a little humidifier, turn it on, get that mist going in the air because you want to get that moisture in the air. You also want to hydrate. You can drink a little bit of water, even just a few sips of water before you go to bed, and then also drink some water when you get up first thing. That way, it starts to lubricate things, get things flowing again, and prevent a lot of that inflammation that could be happening that is going to lead to the cough and the scratchy sore throat. The other thing you want to do, the second thing, is we want to maximize our immune defense. And one of the best ways to do that are vitamins or our supplements that we talked about. I have a whole show where I talked about our guru who like knew a lot about vitamins and supplements. So they gave us a lot of good tips and pointers on there. So you can go back and check that out. I'm just going to touch on a few on here today. But in that, what you want to do and to know, there are a lot of studies and there's some research that says that certain vitamins able to decrease how long you have symptoms from a cold, those sorts of things, and how long those symptoms last, how bad those symptoms are. So it can decrease how severe your symptoms are. It can decrease how long you have that cold or whatever those symptoms that you have. So you want to start thinking about those before you start taking them. Though, I'm gonna put in a quick disclaimer before you just start grabbing and taking things all willy nilly. Make sure that you touch bases with your primary care doctor, especially if you are on prescribed medications, because some supplements, although they are natural And a lot of people said, but it's natural. Natural things can still cause an issue. So you want to make sure that you make those connections and you talk to your doctor about it before you take them. Now, one of the ones that I want to mention is zinc. They said that you can take zinc every day of between 8 and 11 milligrams daily. Once you start to feel a cold coming on, within 24 hours, you can pretty much double that amount. So, about 20 milligrams a day. And they said that 20 milligrams within 24 hours of your cold can decrease it by 33%. It can shorten how long you're going to have that cold by 33%. So, I feel like that's a big deal. So, zinc, 20 milligrams a day. When you start to have that cold, start having those cold symptoms, and do that within the first 24 hours. And you can keep that 20 milligrams up for about 4 or 5 days. And then you can go back to your 8 to 11 milligrams. So about half the dose, once the cold symptoms are gone and everything is okay. The other one, everyone loves vitamin C. I love vitamin C. You can get it by just naturally eating things like your oranges. But the other way to do it, they said the daily recommended amount is between 75 and 90 milligrams. When you are having a cold, you can increase it to 1,000 to 2,000. 2,000 is the absolute maximum amount that you want to take, but between 1,000 and 2,000 milligrams is what you can take when you start to have an illness. Vitamin C has some great antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties, so you want to make sure that if you want to do something, that's one of the ones that you can get on board. Vitamin D is excellent. A lot of people are deficient in that already. It has been shown to help with if you are tired and you have a lot of fatigue, if you are not able to get sleep. I've been checking vitamin D on a lot of people, and most people are coming back deficient. So the recommended daily amount is between 600 and 800 IU daily. So if you want to do that, and they say just your recommended daily amount can already help to prevent respiratory infections. And that's a lot of what these are: the flu, cold, the common cold, all of those. That's essentially what it is. It's like a respiratory illness. So if you're just taking the recommended daily dose, 600 to 800 IU daily, that can help with that. The next thing you want to think about are vaccines. Now, listen, hold the line. I know some of you probably like, I don't do vaccines. I get it. I understand. But for those of you who do, you want to make sure that you're up to date on COVID. Now, during the COVID pandemic and all that sort of thing, a lot of people did their vaccines. Those vaccines were great for that moment, but they are now recommending that you go ahead and get the new updated 2023 version if you haven't gotten it. So you can still go ahead and get an updated COVID vaccine. Definitely want to do your flu vaccine. There is the RSV that is out now. That is one that a lot of people are talking about. If you are over the age of 60, it is recommended because this virus, we used to talk about it a lot with the babies. And the babies would get a lot of colds, a lot of issues with that. So we used to talk about a lot with the babies, but we're noticing that it is also affecting both ends of our spectrum, the little bitties and those of us who are a little bit more seasoned. So you want to make sure that you get that vaccine because it can cause a lot of issues with respiratory illness, shortness of breath, cough, wheezing, all of those things. So you want to make sure that you go ahead and get that vaccine if you are eligible for it. Pneumonia is another one. It's indicated for those who are 65 and older. Also for those who have an compromised immune system. So if you are falling in that category of compromised immune system, you want to definitely make sure that you talk to your doctor about it. Do I qualify? Is this something that I should think about? Pneumonia can be viral, bacterial. So that's why I said these vaccines help for those who have a viral illness, but also bacterial illnesses. So you want to look into those. If you are absolutely against getting a vaccine, I totally understand. Like I said, your other option is just like everyone else, washing your hands. A lot of people are using the hand sanitizer. That's okay, but the sanitizer did not get rid of the germs. It just killed them. Okay? It just killed the germs. Now you're walking around with the dead germs on your hands. So at some point, good old soap and water, lather up, wash your hands, moisturize after if you need to. But washing your hands is a good thing. And then also, if you're in a large group of people, covering your face. Because if you are not vaccinated, you are increased risk of getting the virus, having some adverse reactions from it. If you're around a large group of people, then that can come in and all of those pathogens can increase and get into your system that you do not want. So the other way to protect yourself, washing your hands, covering your face. Okay. The other thing is staying active. I know we want to hibernate during this time. We want to get under the covers and the blankets and get nice and cozy. And I love that too. But you want to stay active. My very smart, beautiful niece helped me to this just the other day. She said she didn't want to come on camera, so that's okay. I'm still going to shout out her point. And she said, Auntie, make sure that you let them know that they have to stay active because arthritis increases during this time of the year. It once we get cold, everything starts to kind of that increases your ability to start having inflammation. We get more sedentary. That increases our stiffness and stuff. So you want to become more active, do more stretching, do more activities that you can do indoors, but you want to still remain active. So that way that can decrease the inflammation, decrease the pain, decrease the arthritis. Okay. The very last thing I want to talk to you about are treating your symptoms early. This can definitely start to help prevent it from progressing to something worse. So, the common cold can last for up to 10 days. That's why it is recommended that if your symptoms are longer than 10 days, then that's 7 to 10 days. And that's when you want to talk to your doctor about an antibiotic. Before that, the common cold is a virus. Viruses just cause all these symptoms that we don't like, the stuffy nose, runny nose, sneezing, cough, even some wheezing. It can do all those things. It can cause your temperature to go up a little bit, may even have a fever. But it's still, for the most part, a lot of times is a virus that's causing these symptoms. Once you have reached that 10-day mark and you still have it, then we may be moving into more like a bacterial and you're having like a secondary infection. But to prevent it from going there, treat those symptoms. If you're having a cough, if again, any medicines that you take, you want to make sure that you talk to your primary about it. But if you're having a cough, then you want to take some type of cough syrup. If you are having a fever, Tylenol, ibuprofen. If you're having muscle aches, those sorts of things. If you really feel like you're having something like flu, of course, get tested, those sorts of things. But if they rule out all of those things, it's most likely a viral infection, and that is going to respond and do best with getting things under control. One of my best things that my dad used to fix us was a hot toddy when we were little kids, and his was a very special recipe. I'm not going to give away all of his secrets, but the main ingredient was honey. Honey has some anti-inflammatory properties. A teaspoon of honey, you can take it directly or you can put it in some warm water. Don't put it in too hot of a water because then that's going to break it down and it's not going to have all those properties that you want. But you can do some honey. He also would do a lemon and he will boil the lemon in some water, put the honey in there with some peppermint. Oh my gosh, it was so good. And another secret ingredient, I can't tell you on camera what it is. You reach out to me privately, I'll let you know. But it was the best, made me feel so good and yummy on the inside. It calmed and soothed my throat, my symptoms, my cough, all of that. And I was able to get some rest. That is the other thing that you want to do. If you're having a cold, or any of those types of symptoms. The other thing is absolutely some rest. That is a bonus because I didn't have that one at the moment and I'm thinking of it now. Rest. A lot of people are sleeping on sleep. You have to get you some rest. Your body needs a moment to reset, recharge, so that way you can feel better. So those are most of my tips that I have to keep you well. The other thing that I want to tell you about is making sure that you have a primary care doctor on board. A lot of people are going to urgent care. There is absolutely nothing wrong with urgent care, especially if you can't get in with your primary. But if you are someone you want to keep that connection with your doctor, especially if you have a few things that are going on and you don't feel like you want to tell your story over and over and over and over again to somebody who doesn't understand it, someone who doesn't know you, then you want to make sure that you are linking up with the doctor that makes the most sense for you. And that is what we do for our patients. We make sure that they have increased access. They can come and see us same day, next day. They can text us if they have something going on. Is this a time that I need an antibiotic or is this still viral? We're able to walk them through it. I know who they are. I know off the bat, this is a person who doesn't want antibiotics right now. They are going to want this X, Y, and Z. They are allergic to this. So then we have to think about this. or they had a reaction, whatever those things are. It is so much better when you are sick that you can go and talk to someone who already knows you. That way, you don't have to tell your story. They can go ahead and figure out what's going on and get you back on your way to wellness and being healthy. If you are in the Savannah area, definitely look us up because we are still accepting new members. If you are like, I'm not in the area, but I think this is great and so may benefit, shoot them the information. The link is connected to this. And so that way you can look it up. But we would love to have you. We would love to serve you because at the end of the day, it is being well. And the best way to do that is to be able to have a primary care doctor on board who is ready and willing to serve you to make sure that you are well. Until next time, I will see you guys later. Thank you so much for watching, and I wish you much healing. Take care.